What if SimCity was underwater, and instead of taxes, you were managing energy networks, heat waves, and the occasional oil spill? That is life below. And somehow, it makes saving the ocean the most addictive thing I have done this month. I went in expecting cute fish and some peaceful reef gardening, and what I got was responsibility. Soothing, meditative responsibility, which I did not expect to enjoy as much as I did. Let's just dive right in. Hi gamers, it's your host Stormy, and today we are looking at Life Below, developed by Megapop and published by Kaseto Games. Life Below releases May 26, 2026 on PC at a retail price point of $29.99. The core loop is this: you're building a thriving underwater economy and restoring reefs using something called the Reef Heart. You lay coral that channels energy, place shells that generate resources, and craft lures to attract wildlife. Your water sprites are the ones doing all of the actual legwork, think of them as your workforce, and your job is building a world worth working in, which, if you think about it, is just management, underwater management with fish. Everything in your reef runs on status: health, comfort, connection to the energy network, and energy consumption. Every piece of your economy is drawing from that network, and your job is to make sure the whole thing stays balanced. Run it wrong and things start failing. And because the network ties back to the overall health of the reef heart, a struggling economy isn't just an inconvenience, it's a problem that compounds quietly until it isn't quiet anymore. And then all the crises hit. A heat wave rolls in, acidity spikes, and suddenly you're not tinkering, you're triaging. You need to think fast, build the right structures, and get things under control before it unravels everything that you've carefully put together. And this is where the game earns its complexity, because these crises aren't random interruptions. They're a test of the foundation that you've been building the entire time. If your network is healthy and your economy is running efficiently, you have the tools to respond. And if it isn't, well, you'll find out. It's the kind of system that feels approachable until you've overextended it. Then it becomes a very calm, very specific lesson in why you should not have done what you've done, which I appreciated eventually. The wildlife are not employees, they're more like tenants. You lure them in, over 40 species ranging from coral crabs to monkfish to hammerhead sharks, and then you make sure that they want to stay. That means catering to their individual needs and protecting them from external threats. In return, housing a diverse range of species earns you biodiversity points, and biodiversity points are how you research new growths, things like new habitats, new corals, the structures that actually expand your economy. So the incentive is always towards variety. The more different species you attract and keep comfortable, the more you can build, and the more you can build, the more species you can support. It's a loop that rewards curiosity. Every new arrival feels like a small unlock because functionally it is. The camera helps you stay connected to all of this. You can zoom in close enough to watch a new school of fish settle into a habitat you built for them, or pull back and oversee the entire colony at once. Life Below stops feeling like a game very quickly, and it starts feeling like something that belongs to you, which I think is the intended effect, and it definitely works. There is a campaign, it's short, it's heartfelt, and it's written by Rhianna Pratchett, who worked on titles like Tomb Raider and Mirror's Edge, which explains why the campaign just is so much better than it even really needs to be. It follows a character named Thalassa and her guide Pontus, who is a grump in a very specific way that actually improves the mood of every scene he's in. The story gives you direction without overstaying its welcome. You get a great balance of just straight up gameplay and also the campaign mixed in. The sound design is doing a lot of heavy lifting here as well. The game was developed with input from actual marine biologists, and you can feel that in the audio. Staring at the coral growth while this soundtrack plays feels like a meditative hobby. It also feels like you're doing something that matters. That combination is harder to pull off than it sounds. Each zone in Life Below has its own set of problems, and I don't mean that generically. I mean, there's like a lava biome, there's a frozen biome, and they're all asking fundamentally different things from you. The environment changes and shifts, and constraints and the strategies that worked before now need rethinking. The developers have said that difficulty is designed to scale the further you push into new zones. You can expect things to get meaningfully harder as you go. What keeps that from being punishing is the foundation you've built. If you've built your ecosystem carefully, if your energy network is stable, and your biodiversity is healthy, and your reef heart is strong, you have the tools to adapt. The game isn't trying to catch you in a gotcha moment. It's pressure testing what you've already built, which is a good design philosophy because it means the difficulty feels earned rather than being arbitrary. You're not struggling because the game threw something unfair at you. You're struggling because you skipped something earlier and the zone is now politely informing you of the fact. It's not perfect. Some crises can hit harder than expected, and a few quality of life tools feel like they're still being figured out. But those rough edges don't undermine the loop itself. If you know me and you know my channel, you know that I am a sucker for a good loop, and this is one of those loops. If anything, adapting around all of these little quirks make it feel like it's part of the game. It doesn't feel broken. It feels like a developer who had more ideas than time, which is definitely a whole different thing entirely. I really liked this title. Life Below is a calm, deliberate, slightly unconventional city builder with enough systems and surprises to stay engaging well past the campaign. If you want a game that lets you nurture an ecosystem, manage an energy network, and occasionally panic about a heat wave destroying 3 hours of careful reef building, then I mean with full sincerity, this game is for you. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this game. Do you enjoy games like this, and what do you think about this ocean city builder dynamic? I do fully believe this game is worth the price point with the amount of content you get, and it really does feel like there's so much work that was put into this. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed your time here and want to see more indie game coverage. Consider sticking around to the end to see another indie gem. And as always, thank you all for the endless support. I will see you all in the next video. Bye.